Hey Alliance, it's Pastor Doug. It's good to see you. Wish we could all be together, but for right now, this is the best that we're able to do, is to have some videos like this and to meet together on Zoom for the time being. So hopefully this week you're connecting with your groups and things are going well. And I just wanted to shoot a short video to help you guys just think through this time that we're in. And I'm here in my house, in my kitchen, because this last week I was talking to my wife. We were in the kitchen, we were talking about coronavirus, and we were talking about our hopes for when the virus is going to be done and when it's all going to get wrapped up. And I was giving my wife my input, and I remember she looked at me and said, "Yeah, but I don't want to get my hopes up." And I looked at her and I said, but isn't that what we should be doing? We should be getting our hopes up and getting our expectation raised. That's what we want to be living. We want to be hopeful people. But as I began to think about it, I began to realize that what she was saying was right. That I was asking her to get her hopes up, or to set her hopes on the fact that this virus was going to pass, or that we were going to get through this in a quick amount of time, or that our government was going to come through with some sort of resources for people. And as I started to think about this, I started to actually feel a little bit hopeless after that. I began to feel like, well, yeah, she was right, that this might not get better for a period of time. This might be a long road. This might have some longer consequences for our economy. There might be some things because of this coronavirus crisis that cause us to have a different life for a period of time. And we're in the midst of it right now. And the next day I remember just thinking and feeling that my spirit was a little downcast, that I felt a little bit of hopelessness, a little bit of turmoil in my own soul. And I went out for a walk in my neighborhood, which is allowed, total social distancing, everything I'm supposed to do. And I went for this nice walk and spent some time praying, and just was reminded during that time of prayer, as a believer, where our hopes should be. Our hopes should not be in our government, or in our finances, or in our health, or in everything in our world staying the same, but they should be in God. And I had a few passages come to mind, and I just wanted to share those with you today as you think about this in your groups. I was immediately thought of one of my favorite Psalms, Psalm 42. It's this phrase that's repeated twice in the Psalm, this almost chorus to this song that David is giving, and he is experiencing weariness in his soul. He's experiencing turmoil and anguish. Maybe he's maybe having a little bit of anxiety in his spirit, and he's feeling uneasy about what's going on because his circumstances are difficult. And he gives this refrain twice in the psalm. He says in Psalm 42 verses 5, and also again in verse 11, he says, "Why are you downcast, O my soul? Why are you cast down? Why are you low? Why are you anguishing? Why are you not rejoicing and enjoying yourself?" And he says, "And why are you in turmoil within me?" I think that's how we can feel sometimes, even in the midst of these trials that God puts us in. We can feel that this trial is tumultuous, that there's turmoil inside of us because of what's going on outside of our control, that we can have internal turmoil, and that's what David is feeling. But then he says this, and this is the thing that I was reminded of, that why are you in turmoil within me? Hope in God. For I shall again praise him, my salvation and my God. That our hope as Christians is not to be found in some external place, but it's to be found in God. In God. He is the source of our hope. And when everything else around us in our context fades away, when everything else in our world seems to go awry, go astray, when we can't go to the grocery store like normal, we can't go get a latte and go walk down to the beach because everything is closed, that our hope is not on those things. Our hope is not in those particular items that we're used to doing, going places and having fun, or even our own health, but our hope is set in the source of an eternal, powerful, living God. We're to have a living hope, a sure hope. And this idea of hope even is, it's not what the world thinks of hope. Hope in the context of the Bible is not something that's unclear or uncertain. It's certain. There's a confident expectation. That's the idea of hope. And so that we're to not have an uncertain hope, we're to have a certain hope. And that made me think of another passage in Timothy. You got this young pastor talking to, or Paul talking to this young pastor, and he's giving him exhortations as a young pastor to what he should be doing and saying and telling and exhorting his church. And this is one of the things that Paul charges Timothy. He tells them, as for the rich in this present age, those that have wealth and prosperity and good things now in this life, says charge them not to be haughty, not to be boastful, not to be puffed up in what they have and what they can do and their freedom and their provision that they have in this present age, nor to set their hopes. They are not to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches. Not to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches. If there is anything that this current crisis that teach us, it should teach us and reveal to us where our hopes are actually set. If you're feeling anxious and fearful and there's turmoil going on in your soul, that should reveal to us that maybe our hopes are in the uncertainty of the things in this present life, whether that be riches or whether that be your health or whatever it is, that your hopes may be set in that place instead of the thing it should be set on. That those things are uncertain in our lives. We can't have a confident expectation in them, and so we can get our hopes up because those things are not guaranteed or sure. But what is guaranteed and sure is our place and our status and our position and our eternal future with Christ. And so what Paul is charging Timothy to say to his church is that they are to not set their hopes on the uncertain things, on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who not only is the place that we should have our source in, we should set our hopes in God as the source of our hope, but we should do that because God is the one who richly provides us with everything to enjoy. The reason why we're to set our hope on God as the source of our hope is because God is the source of everything. The sovereign God of the universe is the one that provides us our jobs, provides us our health, provides us with a stable economy, provides us with a government, provides us with what we need. He is the ultimate source. In him are all things, and in him all things hold together. He is the one who is providing for us and sustaining us. And we are to accept and go with what he provides during these seasons. So as we're in a season of trial, if we become downcast in our soul, we need to remember to set our hope on God as the source of our hope and the source of all provision to get us through this season. So as you guys sit and talk in your groups and just connect with one another, go through the questions that we've had prepared for this week, I'm just asking you to think about where your hope is set. If you're feeling any turmoil, if you're feeling downcast, cast down in your own spirit, what we need to do is once again renew and refresh and set our hopes on the living, powerful God who is the source of all provision for us that we are given to enjoy. So I pray that as you guys meet in your groups, you're able to connect well with one another, support one another, encourage one another, make sure all your needs are met, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally through this crisis. And we are prayerful that we'll be back soon. But again, our hopes are not set on our timing of when this is going to happen, but it's set on that God is going to use this, and he's going to use this for good for us, for you, and for me. So praying for you all this week. Hope you have a great time, and I can't wait to get back with you again soon. All right, have a good time, guys.